Wassail. So, I'm doing a reading today about the emotions and what goes on when a pet is released from life and they finally get to leave their body here on the earth. My dog, Mabel, has just been released on Monday, and it was a very emotional time for me. I've shuffled the cards because I wanted to maintain my composure during this reading without sort of breaking down into that massive dam of emotions that pass through me. I've always felt so connected to this particular dog, more than any other animal I've ever had, and she attached herself inside my soul so massively from the very beginning that when I left my house and I had to let her go back with Merlin as well to live with my ex, it really it was the most painful thing I'd ever been through, and even going up and dog sitting for them is always seeing them and then having to walk away, and this was really beginning to jar my throat, my heart, and I couldn't, although I am a bit jarred in the throat because this is very difficult to talk about. So I've laid cards out, and it begins with a completion, obviously, but that wasn't the first card out. I just wanted to mark that moment. So it actually begins with Jaguar and Luminous Warrior. Now, the Jaguar, I mean, for me, it's a little bit like a black Labrador in terms of it sitting, looking at me and staring at me. And the Luminous Warrior is kind of saying to me that some dogs are not animal spirits. Some dogs and cats and other pets, I'm going to keep saying dogs, but you just put other pets in. So some animals that you look after are actually members of your soul tribe community. So they're those, I'm going to say twin flames because you have lots of twin flames. This notion that there's just one, they're all part of your soul flame tribe. And I truly believe that when Mabel looked at you, there was a far more sentient being. Now, I'm not saying it's a dead ancestor who comes down and they're completely aware of everything. Just like us, when we come down to earth, we're not aware of the fullness of our potential. We're only allowed to bring in a certain amount of our consciousness, and it's down to us to stretch and try and draw more in. What I'm saying is that members of soul tribe families sometimes come to teach you a lesson through the animal kingdom, to open your heart and to lock in and teach you things. And when they come in, they don't have their full consciousness, but there's something about when their eyes lock on yours and they look at you, you see a much deeper soul staring out. Now, I've had other dogs, they've just been dogs. But there was something about her energy that was just incredible. So we have 2832, if that's any help to people. So this is the first time this Luminous Warrior card has come through meaning something else. It's a cosmic moment in which a warrior of emotions comes through to the earth plane in an animal form. And just to emphasize it while focusing on that with the Wild Unknown Animal deck, I got another panther, jaguar. It's the same thing. It's karma. This passing of my most beloved dog is a karmic lesson, and it really has been. The release within my emotional framework was so immense that I feel like I'm in a different frequency now. Dark night of the soul, and it's not just a night, obviously. Although the trauma of it, when it first happens, there is that sense of just wanting to let go and go to bed and not have to deal with all the traumas of things. But it's only by going through these terrifically tough moments that we learn to grow. So her passing is, I love this card, I know I always say that, but I'm always so happy to see Vulture. Her passing was to take all of the old emotions and the things pent up and blocked and dammed up inside me, and to release them and to let them nourish me forwards rather than cutting them away. It really is about nourishing. So my life, or your life, with these soul tribe animals that come in is an exploration of intimacy, heart, emotional love intimacy, and the lessons that they're going to teach us during life that we may not notice with the day-to-day activities that go on throughout our lives. We don't always see the things that are coming. It's in passing and being released as energy back into the world that we kind of get that sense of review of all the things, memories that come back that you hold away from, that you have stored, that are ready to come up. And they're the most beautiful, wonderful things. I mean, me and this dog, we went through an awful lot, and I'm not trying in any way to say that my ex and his husband had any less of a love for her, but this is my personal story of my connection to this beautiful dog. So her passing comes with this combination of 756, the child, and thunder. This thunder is energy. It's the energy of the love that you put into your pet. So, and this is also true of humans. We love people, we love creatures. There's all kinds of things that we love, and we've planted and we've nourished and we've watered loving emotions inside. And when they pass, these emotions can be fed back to us because they're emotions that we shared, and they're an energy. And so once they're released, that energy can flow backwards to you to help you to nourish, yourself to move forwards, because death is not final. It's only final here. This goes back to that video I had with my brother saying I had stopped thinking of him as my brother, but as a member of my soul tribe community. I'll see him again as I will see Mabel again, although I have already seen her. She came to visit me as a beautiful energy signature in the park. I sat in the park while the deed was done in London, and on her release, she came. I saw her, and it was very much like this. It was her form, but it was all in blue and white energy. And she came and she snuffled through the undergrowth like she used to. So she's trying to teach me now the lesson of being childlike, but with wisdom, to move forwards, but your frequency to move to a cleaner energy frequency that we had during childhood, this divine blueprint idea. And I can't help thinking in this reading that this bison are the divine blueprint rushing in. And this also came with the card of Otter, which is again playfulness. This is about the playfulness we have with pets is a joy, but we have to have that same playfulness with our human interactions. There must be humour, there must be joy, there must be fun in our relationships with everybody. You know, we mustn't be so serious about things. And then I also have 3 tarot cards with this energy release signature. I have endings, which obviously echoes the completion. You know, she has now passed. The 10 of Pentacles, about being in that same 10 energy of completion and new beginning, but in the real world. So not to dwell in spirit, but to have a leap of faith, to rebirth yourself and your memories as something wonderful to take you forwards. Now, I also there's a message from Spirit, from the Council, about how our pets are here to teach us emotional codes. They come to teach us how to unlock things within our emotions, within our hearts. But that's not something you do without being fully aware of your pet's needs. It's no good seeing your animal as just an animal. You have to see your animal as a consciousness that needs respect. You know, I don't like to see people shouting at their dogs or smacking their dogs. You know, most dogs, if you give them sensible boundaries, they will work within a framework, and then you never need to raise your voice with them. I mean, with Mabel, you could literally just tut, and she would feel ashamed that you didn't agree with that behaviour. This card is also, this is such beautiful, gentle, mellow energy. It's a very soothing frequency. That comes with divine consciousness. It's saying that, again, it's this reminder that some animals are animals. They're new spirits that haven't yet learnt the fullness to have the complicated spiritual journey that we have in our form. And so they have a much purer, softer, wonderful spring-like, youthful, playful energy. And this is, you know, our relationship to animals is sacred wisdom. We've got 2 owls here. I mean, this is saying you have to connect to the divine path of emotional warmth inside your heart when you're with animals. We've got no excuse anymore, really. I don't want to keep saying this, but we've got to stop eating animals. We really do. You really have to stop eating them. You could be eating a member of your family. Just think about that. Sorry. And this card came with completion and new beginning. Because it is a completion. You know, these things, it's 100% a completion. Or is it that way? I can't do this in reverse. But it is a completion. This journey that we have with animals and pets and creatures is to teach us completion. And to teach us to have creative, passionate, new beginnings. You know, wonderful moments to move forwards with. Their memories never go, but you can't hold on to those memories. You have to allow them their freedom. So underneath the seat of this completion, because the completion card always dictates 4 lessons. And it's about pets are teaching you to unfreeze your heart, to flow better, to begin to bring the sun back out post their passing and release. And for me personally, it's about me understanding the movement between realms, how to shift my reality. So you can get caught up in mourning, you can get caught up in grief, but at some point it has to pass. You have to let the sun back into your life. You have to see death as fertilizing nourishment to move forwards, and not as some kind of punishment that you have to go through, and you have to mourn, and you have to, you know, lose that playfulness that you once had. So you're being taught to release, and to release graciously, gratefully, to allow your pet's passing or release to be something to nourish your soul so that you can move forwards. So we have a complicated little area down here. They're trying to teach you to communicate your truth. If you communicate your truth with your dog, if you are some kind of... See, I'm hearing the word arrogant overlord with them, where you think you're superior to them. That is not your truth. You're not superior to animals. You're equal to all consciousness. We're all equal to all consciousness. And you have to transform yourself and stand in your truth with your pets and with people around you. You know, it's really important to come into your own power. We have these 3 beautiful cards from the Wild and Animal deck. Bear, Cosmic Egg, and Elephant. The gift that a pet brings to you is a cosmic gift, a cosmic teaching tool, something to help you raise your frequency, to clear out the darknesses within you. Bear wakes up from hibernation and elephant marches forwards unstoppably. And that's the energy that I am now moving towards since the beautiful Mabel passed. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. So we have animal kingdom and freedom. Animals are trying really hard to teach you the lesson of freedom. Freedom from boundaries, freedom from borders, freedoms from fear, freedom from emotions, freedom to exist in a flow, you know. And I have another horse card that's come in that's all about freedom, intuitive freedom, the freedom that you can get when you accept that there is a connection to everything in life. Now, it also comes with this strange message. This is the only card that fell upside down. This is heart pain. This is when we tangle ourselves, and it comes with these two cards. I have to read these with it. The golden egg of the heart chakra sitting in the nest. Okay. The spider, the weaving of your love and your compassion and your magic inside the pet and inside those that you love. Now, sometimes this love... Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this energy, or I've been shown this energy by my dog's passing, because she's been obviously communicating things to me for the moment, about how my ex, I have planted seeds of love and joy and wonder and admiration and support inside him. And when I tried to pull away from him, I couldn't. I felt like I had Stockholm syndrome. And I was told that this sense of past spirits rushing in to return the seeds of love and emotions that you've put in them so that they can nourish you and replenish you as they move to spirit is exactly the same for people who are alive who are no longer holding so dear in our lives. And she was telling me that I now have to, if I want to free my heart chakra, if I want to free my heart chakra to flow properly again and to let the sun come out, I have to now remove all of those seeds and those strands of love that are tangled between our two hearts, because the person that you no longer love no longer needs them. Now, here's the thing. When I first looked into his eyes, I know he's a member of my Soul Flame community, and we will have signed a pre-incarnation contract that we would both behave the way we did so that it would awaken something in both of us. Now, it's awoken me, I'm awake. He isn't. He's very much not awake at all. But I would have agreed to do this. So by removing now all of those woven strands of a kind of complicated tapestry in his life, by taking them away, he will feel the loss, and eventually in time this will be his trigger to wake up. It won't happen now, and it's not going to be something awful, because at first when they were telling me, I was like, this feels uncomfortable, this feels a little bit like some kind of dark magic, but in fact it isn't. This is how karma is now going to be working. Karma is about rewarding, it's not about punishment, and his reward for doing what I asked him to before we came is for me to now remove all my energy from him so that he can have his epiphanies later, because I came to trigger changes in him for his future incarnations, his lessons that he had to learn. But the oh yes moment was also to do with when you have difficult moments with family, it's exactly the same thing. But here, you're removing your connections from the person so that they feel your loss. All the while you keep your emotions tangled in them, you're keeping that tangled frequency that can't be broken. So if you're a parent that's fallen out with a child, or a child that's fallen out with a parent, you need to remove yourself entirely emotionally from them if you want to bring them back to you. I mean, I could also say that with a lover, if you want to bring them back to you, you've got to do this. But my sense always with lovers is that it doesn't work if it didn't work the first time, regardless of epiphanies. I always think you should move forwards to fresh notions. I'll have lives with my lovely narcissist ex in the future when he's grown in other lives. So I'm content with that. But if you do have poor family relationships with people, or people you've fallen out with, if you really, really do want to call them back to your life, you've got to disengage all of your emotions so that their higher self will trigger the memories and make them think and bring them their epiphanies to move forwards. Now, back to pets, because that's really what this was about, although that was a side energy that I was learning from, which has been incredibly helpful. We have animal kingdom and freedom. So this is that sense of spirits of animals being all around us. And I did say just now about the boundaries being removed, about the boundaries of hearts, emotions and things like that. I might have already read those, but this is it's a bit of a heavy reading for me, and I am staying here with you to get to the end. It's about rebirthing your emotions, finding a new creative emotional language, the door to the message. You've planted the seeds through the animal to actually start to move forwards with a new emotional language. But you've got to let the animal, you've got to let the spirit of the animal pass. Now, for me, this energy of my beautiful dog transformed into the energy of one of my relatives. Whether my relative sent her or whether it was my relative, was a very odd moment, and it was comforting, but the relative laughed at me and called me a stupid sod for not realising for so long the purpose of Mabel's beautiful life with me, which obviously I do now know. So it's about moving forwards in a new language of love. So I'm just going to take these cards and see if there's any final messages from my beautiful Mabel to all of you out there. So Mabel, my beautiful familiar dog, do you have a message for people out there watching this video? Oh, she's snuffled out loads of cards for you. So the most important thing is to let go of them. Let go of everyone who passes. Death is not final. Death is just an exit point from this 3D reality. These people will be back. These animals will be back. They're part of your soul tribe. So she wants you to know that. She also wants you to know not to sit, again, in grief. That 9 of letting all of the pains turn into feathers and flow on the winds of change. This is the same thing. This is about numbering the 10 of earth, the 10 of pentacles, that going back into the real world fully, I don't want to say armed, but fully comfortable and creative. So she's saying, don't sit in grief for anybody, anyone, anything, Grief hurts your heart. It freezes it. Sorry, I'm burping, it's the truth. So you have to release. You cannot hang on to things, and you really, I'm hearing shouting in my head to say, do never ever blame yourself for any passing of another. Do not hold any responsibility. It was their journey that they agreed, and you agreed it with them. And by not moving forwards and releasing them and coming back into your flow in the world, you're not honouring their memory. Oh, that's a very hard message to hear, people, I know. Life is a mystery. Bobcat spirit and electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. Do you know, life is a continual mystery. We're always seeking answers to things, but it's important to see the beauty in the mystery as it unfolds, like a good film or a good novel. It all unfolds, and you can discuss with other people all the ins and outs and wonder and speculate. But do you know, whatever you speculate, it won't be that. You know, I used to spend my lifetime doing every situation, thinking it all the way through, thinking all the possibilities, and then when I get to the thing, the one thing I hadn't thought about was always the one that turned up. So just trust the mystery. You've got to go into your flow. You can't sit around. You know, there's that sense with the electric eel of that thunderous, wonderful energy returning to you. These wonderful energy signatures of people you love coming back. And then Mabel's final message is partly to do with Vulture. A rebirth is assured. If you can deal with your grief, if you can love the thing that's past and love the memory and love the future that you will have with them once you move forwards as well, there's the most joyful transformation assured for you. And then you have pig spirit and seahorse spirit. Use your mind wisely and watch and wait, which goes in with that life is a great mystery. Try not to overplan. Allow yourself to sit in, I didn't bring up this energy earlier, but this completion energy came with deer, and deer is grounded, divine, feminine. So use your mind wisely, because we're moving into an energy. If you just watch and wait and trust in the mystery, and it's like I'm spilling the beans on a little bit of the mystery, use your mind wisely, because the divine feminine is going to start grounding, and it's a whole new comforting, wonderful relationship between you and the earth that's coming towards us. And you need to use your mind wisely to let go of the things that are from the past. They don't serve you anymore. And we end from Mabel's little reading for you with the Queen of Air. Now, the Queen of Air is to flourish with new thoughts. Spiritual, here's our owl again, that's our it's the third owl to turn up in this reading. There's a massive amount of spiritual presence. I mean, remember, we're going back to this wonderful divine energy. And with the Queen of Air, it's creating a new bloom of new thoughts, new ways to move into the world. And the blue is about sharing the truths that you have. Oh, sorry, I need to just say 1144. 1144. I haven't said many numbers in this, but 1144 is screaming at me out of the corner of my eye. It's a key to your heart chakra. It's a key to your hummingbird. It's a key to your flow. And it's a key to your time master, your energy to move and switch from the dimensions. That's what this Queen of Air is. She's Time Master territory. She's saying that you can choose, Mabel's saying you can choose to hang in, trapped, not moving forwards, or you can stand tall, bare spirit, and find a new freedom for yourself, a new balance, a new yin and yang. So I hope that helps anyone. Look, you know, anyone that passes, not just pets, but the key message that she wants you to understand is not all pets are animal spirits. Some pets are members of your soul tribe community, and the limited memory they have is enough to bring you the exploration, the lessons of intimacy, to change your energy signatures, to bring you online. And it's not just about their passing, but their passing allows you to review them, and their energy can then return. Because the other key thing is this thing of seeds of love that you plant in people being returned. So she returned all the emotions of love that I gave into her, and I gave her my whole heart. I think probably more than I've given to anybody in a weird way. But then her message was, you need to take back the love you plant in others who are ungrateful for it, because you should only be planting your emotional healing energy in those willing to heal. So have a think about pulling back the love that really belongs to you that you can then give to another. Okay? Bit of a long reading, and I didn't cry, which was great because I really haven't stopped since it happened. So wassail, and try and have a release from any pains of grief that you have. It's really important. Okay, bye.